NXT's resident bro, Matt Riddle, goes one-on-one with Adam Cole in a classic tonight in the main event on NXT, an ending that included the tensions between all four members of Undisputed Era reaching a boiling point. We'll talk about it right here for NXT on Off the Script.
5, delete! This is mine.
Alive with it. People still didn't. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here for NXT on Off the Script. It is Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. We're going to go over tonight's TV taping from Full Sail University, as well as go over the week's NXT news and rumors, some of which are Triple H announcing the location of NXT Takeover on June 1st. Garza Jr. finally debuts with NXT. Rumor killer on the NXT version of the Money in the Bank ladder match that was supposed to happen, being that we got advertisements for it, why it's not happening, and what happened to that proposed match. Also, the duration of Beth Phoenix in her new commentary role on NXT TV, what happened to Percy Watson, why Beth Phoenix is there, and why I think she is there for NXT commentary, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys want to follow me on social media, please do so. At JD from NY206 on both the Twitter and the Instagram. JD from NY206 for both. Easy to find me. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to support the podcast via the Patreon page and show your appreciation for what I do here on a weekly basis. Completely optional. And it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. And please, without me having to tell you, you should already know, hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. Become one of my elite right here on Off the Script. If you guys missed anything that I uploaded this past week, including the wild card rule. I was going to say wild card shakeup. Wild card rule, which pretty much renders the brand split completely irrelevant. So we go over that and my frustrations from Monday going on into Tuesday with the WWE main roster. That stuff is on the channel right now if you missed it. The real reason why Goldberg is back with the WWE and wrestling in Saudi Arabia. I'll give you one clue. It's having to do with a little old t-shirt company down in Jacksonville, Florida. Not really a t-shirt company. They are the most powerful t-shirt company on the fucking planet. Being that they're getting WWE to mentally and physically break down. I love it. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Also, Lio Rush. My thoughts on the whole Lio Rush situation. And Jon Moxley. Off the Script Extra. Go and check all that stuff out if you might have missed anything previously on the channel. Tonight's podcast brought to you by Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. You guys, for tonight, just for listening to me, all week actually, for listening to me all week, Audible is giving you guys 30 days free of their service, and that includes one free audiobook of your choice. Now, all you have to do is the following. Download the app on your iPhone or Android devices. You're going to go through the sign-up process. You will not be billed. Do not worry. So you're going to download the app, you're going to browse Audible service, you're going to get 30 days free, and as a thank you, Audible is going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. Now, the best part is, if you guys want to support the podcast, you get your free audiobook, you can cancel at any time in the 30 days and still get to keep your audiobook, and you will not be billed. audibletrial.com/offthescript. So tonight, we are officially starting the road to NXT Takeover 25. Man, that sounds fucking sexy. I gotta admit it, man. I did not know where WWE was going to have the next TakeOver event. And I heard rumors of WWE actually doing it in Atlanta. First of all, I heard San Jose. This was before WWE had to move the next Saudi Arabian fucking debacle to June. That was supposed to take place in May. WWE moved it to June because the Saudis wanted it to be moved, and the Saudis own WWE and Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon right now is Saudi's bitch. So they moved it to June 6th or 7th, I believe. June 7th, I believe it is. So the NXT TakeOver show was supposed to happen that next day on June 8th. And WWE had to move that. It was supposed to be in San Jose. So WWE moved Money in the Bank to the weekend of the 19th, I believe. I think it's May 19th, Money in the Bank. I am terrible with fucking dates. There's so much going on, man. There's just so much to remember. So we got Money in the Bank in a couple weeks, and the TakeOver show was moved to June 1st. Now, it couldn't be the Saturday following the Saudi show because I'm assuming if Triple H is going to be in Saudi Arabia, which I believe he is, he's got to show face, one would assume. He is not going to travel for his NXT baby and make that flight all the way from Saudi Arabia back to the United States to go right back to doing what he does for TakeOver and NXT. So they moved it to the weekend before the Saudi show. It is on June 1st, that Saturday. Standalone show. There's nothing else around it. Vince can't call Triple H up and tell him to water down the product because you're embarrassing the main roster like he usually does, or at least tries to. There was a rumor going around during the Rumble that Vince wanted Triple H to tone down NXT TakeOver Phoenix. I don't know how truthful that is because Undisputed Era and the War Raiders, and then, you know, Gargano and Ricochet, completely tore the fucking house down. So that really didn't do anything. But I would assume Vince McMahon has done that at least once or twice in the duration of NXT TakeOver. Now, being that we got the NXT TakeOver show on June 1st, like I said, it was supposed to be in Atlanta. There were reports from Brad Shepard saying it was in Atlanta, and then people were texting me, you want to go? You want to go? Let's go, man. You want tickets? But wait a minute. I'm going to Vegas for Double or Nothing, and you want me to turn right back around and do NXT TakeOver. I might show face and do a little meet and greet, if anything, being that it's right up I-95, but I am not going to TakeOver. So, on June 1st, we are getting NXT TakeOver, which I thought was going to be NXT TakeOver Connecticut. WWE said, you know what? This is pretty lame. That name is pretty lame as far as NXT TakeOvers go. NXT TakeOver Phoenix, or NXT TakeOver Chicago, NXT TakeOver LA, right? Or NXT TakeOver Orlando, or Atlanta, or any of these big major cities. Bridgeport, Connecticut is the home of NXT TakeOver. So NXT TakeOver Connecticut, or NXT TakeOver Bridgeport, doesn't really have a nice ring to it. So Triple H said this on social media: Florida, Toronto, Los Angeles, London, Chicago, Texas, Brooklyn, Phoenix, Philly, New Orleans, to our 25th TakeOver. NXT TakeOver 25 is live from the Webster Arena, Saturday, June 1st, 2019. Man, that sounds fucking sexy. How you turn chicken shit into chicken salad right there. NXT and Triple H, man. Can't wait for it. The card is already leaked, being that we got several TV tapings in the bag already. I will not be going over them. We'll discover them together. But I love that, man. NXT TakeOver 25. The logo looks epic. It sounds fucking great. I'm excited for it. There's nothing holding them back. And this is a standalone show. I'm not expecting this to blow away what they did in New York, WrestleMania weekend. And I would be okay if this is not the greatest takeover of all time. They are allowed one of these great shows. They don't have to fucking blow everybody away. But this could be a show that is used to get others on the card that have not experienced a takeover show. It's okay to book this one lightly Then you go all guns blazing into NXT TakeOver Toronto for SummerSlam weekend, being that will probably be the next TakeOver. I like this. I love it. I think the name sounds sexy. I can't wait for it. It's TakeOver. Who the fuck is not excited? If you're not, you're probably living in a fucking cave somewhere. Garza Jr. debuts this past week on the house show circuit for NXT. Humberto Garza Solano, better known as Garza Jr., is a third-generation wrestler. I had to look up some stats on him because I, believe it or not, you know, I'm not afraid to admit it, I am not really all that knowledgeable on Garza Jr. He is the grandson of luchador Mario Segura, and Mario actually used the name El Ninja from his debut in 2008, Garza Jr., until 2015. Actually, he used that name, and he actually changed his name to El Hijo del Ninja. You can tell my Spanish is fucking terrible. El Hijo del Ninja, the son of the ninja. He is the nephew of Hector Garza. Garza previously worked for Impact Wrestling, which we just had a joint show with House of Glory, which I'll talk about more on the podcast on Friday. And the one thing that came out of that show is a ton of people thought I was legitimately hired by Impact Wrestling. That could not be farther from the truth. It's a House of Glory show, and I did commentary for House of Glory. So why wouldn't I be there? People lost their fucking minds. People who can't stand me losing their fucking minds. That, oh, Impact is making a mistake by hiring JD. I work for House of Glory. I'm slightly disappointed in all you fucking people who keep up on everything, even though you're benched and blocked and fucking exiled from the channel. You still keep up, yet you don't know I work for House of Glory. We'll talk about it on Saturday and Friday. Or Friday, rather. Not Saturday. But I got a full weekend of podcasts coming up. From 2015 to 2017, Garza worked for Lucha Libre, AAA. But he abruptly left the company early 2017. Garza Jr., along with Pentagon and Phoenix and Daga, formed La Rebellion on the independent circuit after leaving Lucha Libre AAA. WWE has Garza on the NXT roster. He's an NXT superstar. He brought a lot of hype with him. This is the one thing that I am most interested in, getting to know who he is and how he works. He obviously was a major player, and now it is time for him to make a major name in NXT, which, under the tutelage of Triple H, I believe that's going to be a very good thing. WWE actually copyrighted the name Garza Jr., so it appears that he will be keeping that name. However, as we all know with Vince McMahon, he'll probably just shorten it to Garza. Either way, Garza is going to be his name moving forward. Garza Jr. joins the other recent NXT debuts as Kushida made his debut, Shane Strickland, Trevor Lee, Team 3.0. I don't know who that consists of. I guess we'll find out soon. They are loading up the Performance Center with no signs of slowing down. And at this rate, NXT, you know, with all the call-ups, or the demotions, I would say, if you look at it in the way that I do, with all the demotions that happened lately, looks like NXT is restocking, trying to fill the void that Ricochet and Aleister Black left, and the War Raiders. So it looks like NXT is going to be chugging right along with no missed steps. Can't wait to see what this guy's about. I heard a lot about him. Have not seen him work yet. And he will be debuting very, very shortly. He is already on the house show circuit for NXT. Beth Phoenix, the duration of her commentary stint on NXT TV. Phoenix joined Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness on commentary during the recent set of TV tapings, replacing Percy Watson. Watson did not appear at the tapings, but he is reportedly still with the WWE. We'll have to wait and see what happened to Percy Watson, whether he gets moved back to 205 Live, which I know he was doing color commentary for, or if they just find another role for Percy Watson in the company. If Beth Phoenix remains on commentary, she will be the first woman to regularly sit at the NXT commentary desk since Renee Young tried the spot years ago before being moved to an interviewer on the main roster. Of course, Young is now on Raw every week on commentary, and she's absolutely fucking abysmal at what she does. So this could actually open doors for Beth Phoenix to be the color commentator on SmackDown Live, which I'll get to in a second. Phoenix is also slated to make a return to in-ring action during WWE's upcoming European tour. Natalya Neidhart just tweeted out as of this week, after Raw and SmackDown concluded, that she's over there with her best friend, and she couldn't be happier. So we might be seeing Beth on commentary and also in the ring doing double duty. Now, the reason why, actually, before I even get into that, I love Beth Phoenix more than I do all the other female commentators that WWE has ever put on the headset. And I do believe that Beth is much more knowledgeable than a Renee Young, and she comes off a lot better than Renee Young. And I am excited to see what she does, learning from Mauro and Nigel McGuinness, who right now, I mean, it's no secret to anybody, they're the best commentary team in all of WWE. They may be the best commentary team, period, in wrestling. But with that, I do believe she will be fine. Why I think she's here? Well, you got Renee Young on Monday Night Raw. Sadly, and unfortunately, I don't see Renee Young going anywhere, because it would be wrong of WWE to take their one lone female commentator and move her somewhere else. It would cause a shitstorm. So what I think WWE is going to do, because I think Byron Saxton is fucking god-awful at what he does, I honestly think Beth Phoenix is going to be working with Mauro and Nigel, and she's going to learn what she has to do as a commentator. And when WWE moves to Fox in October, I honestly think that it's going to be Tom Phillips, it's going to be Corey Graves, and it's going to be Beth Phoenix. Because I don't know if it's coming from Fox or if it's simply a WWE initiative. They might want another female on the commentary team to mimic what they're doing on Monday Night Raw. So they'll have Renee Young on Raw, and then they'll have Beth Phoenix on SmackDown Live. And I honestly think Beth Phoenix is going to be much better off for it, because look at who she's learning from. And look at what she is doing in NXT and who she's going to be associated with. She's going to be more than prepared if they do call upon her to go to commentary for SmackDown Live when they move to Fox Sports in October. That's what I think is going to happen here, because there's no other reason why they would just take out Percy Watson, who wasn't that bad, but at the same time, he didn't really add anything to the commentary side of things on NXT. But Beth Phoenix is taking his place. Hopefully we'll find out what happened to Percy Watson and what he is doing now in WWE. And if Beth Phoenix is only going to be there temporarily, and she's definitely going to get moved to SmackDown Live, and they need another third man, call me. Call me. I know that's not going to happen, but one could dream. One could dream. Hey, I sat next to Josh Matthews. Anything can fucking happen, right? Anyway. Finally, guys, on the NXT news front, there was a graphic that was recently going around on social media that listed a ladder match involving NXT stars at the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now, it turns out that it was a fake graphic, one that included, we had Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, we had Adam Cole, Pete Dunne, Tyler Breeze, Dominic Dijakovic, and Jackson Riker of the Forgotten Sons. Now, WWE will hold their Money in the Bank pay-per-view on Sunday, May 19th. That's my father's birthday, in Hartford, Connecticut, at the XL Center. And Dave Meltzer reported that there will not be 3 ladder matches. It will remain 2. Simply main roster matches for the men and the women. No NXT. Wrestling Observer Newsletter and Dave Meltzer mentioned that there is no such match taking place. Meltzer wrote, and I quote, "According to those in the know, not only is the poster a fake, but such a match has never even been discussed." End quote. So there you go. I would love to see, not only a Money in the Bank match, I would love to see, and I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, and I doubt it's ever going to happen, because if they do it, then they're probably going to upset a few on the main roster. They're probably going to outshine what they do on the main roster, because that's what NXT does. NXT outshines, main roster gets jealous and salty, and then they try to kill everything that's in NXT, or at least water it down, or put a stop to it, because they don't want to feel inadequate. I will always feel that. People on the main roster do not look at NXT as anything but a nuisance. It's like one of them fucking gnats that you see flying around during a family outing at the barbecue, 4th of July, right? Go away, man! What the fuck? I can't get enough of this shit! That's what NXT is. You're trying to sit there and eat your hamburger, right? Hey, honey, get me a fucking beer, please. I'm empty. What the fuck is going on here, man? Jesus Christ. I'm trying to eat my fucking food. That's NXT. That's NXT. NXT is that little fucking pesky gnat flying around the fucking table while you're trying to enjoy the 4th of July barbecue. But meanwhile, WWE, if they only did what needed to be done, this wouldn't be an issue. This wouldn't be an issue. Now, like I was mentioning, I know. Oh my God, JD, you're losing your fucking, I know. Anyway, I would love to see an NXT version of the Money in the Bank. I would love to see an NXT version of the Royal Rumble. I would love to see an NXT version of the King of the Ring. If you ain't going to bring back King of the Ring on the main roster because Vince hates tournaments, why don't we see the King of the Ring reborn in NXT? I would love to see that. Imagine a takeover. Imagine a takeover. Just having an entire 8-man tournament for the King of the Ring. Number 1 contender for the NXT title, which would take place at SummerSlam, main event of whatever city you're in for that takeover, accompanying SummerSlam. That's what I would do. Because I know WWE's not going to do it on the main roster. But I would love to see NXT versions of what we see on the main roster. I think it would be a great thing to see. Let me know what you guys think about that. But apparently, this is fake. I wish this was something that was legit, because I could definitely see Adam Cole walking around with a Money in the Bank briefcase and cashing it on Johnny whenever he wanted and stealing the title from Gargano whenever he wanted. I could see Pete Dunne winning that. Tyler Breeze clearly is on to other things in NXT. We'll discuss that as the weeks go on. Dijakovic could be a good situation for him if he wanted to be in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Matt Riddle, Keith Lee. They really went out of their way to make it somewhat believable, because, if they wanted to really fake it, they would have put all the top guys in there. But you got a Jackson Riker, you got a Keith Lee, you got a Dijakovic. So, it was all fake, it was not real, and I would like to see NXT eventually, in the future, do their own versions of what we see on the main roster, with a Money in the Bank, with a Royal Rumble, with a King of the Ring, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, this match is not taking place for WWE. Before we get into the review of tonight's NXT, make sure you guys go and support the podcast and get yourself a JD's Elite t-shirt. Bonfire.com is the home. Bonfire.com, link is down below. One of the top-selling t-shirts in the YWC, that is the YouTube wrestling community, and the #1 selling t-shirts of all time, right here on Off the Script. Bonfire.com, become one of my elite members. Again, link is down below for the official online shop of JD's Elite, Bonfire.com. Oh my goodness. One moment I'm yellow, and the next moment, I'm black. There you go. I got Sal Rex's email just, I'd say about an hour ago, hour and a half ago. And he sends me a new layout. So, clearly I had to use this one because it's a lot easier on the eyes. And, as you guys can see, Kona Reeves is not in the layout anymore. Because that's all I heard last week in the comment section. Oh, JD, why is Kona Reeves in the layout, man? Now you got Kushida. Let me see you fucking complain about that one. Anyway, moving on. NXT tonight. No Beth Phoenix. Percy, Nigel, and Mauro were still there. And I got news on Mauro that actually just broke right after NXT finished tonight. Mauro just signed a new WWE contract. PW Insiders reporting that Mauro Ranallo has signed a new contract with WWE and will remain the lead play-by-play guy for NXT. This is great news. Obviously, I don't need to explain why. There's nobody that does it better. There's nobody else I want in the position. Clearly, Mauro is the best in the business. And NXT has him. I don't know how many years he is signed on for, but it is reported that this deal was inked over a month ago as well, so it took some time to break. Not really like it's any of our business. I'm just happy that he's happy, he's healthy, and he's with NXT. Ranallo will still be permitted to take part in the announcing duties for NXT and do other combat sports as well at the same time, and that includes Showtime boxing as well. Mauro has been the voice of NXT since his days with SmackDown Live. He went away. Triple H realized what was best for business, because Vince McMahon clearly did not, but all I heard all week was how much of a genius Vince McMahon is. Vince McMahon's such a genius that he let the best play-by-play man in the fucking business walk. So if you want to gauge on how much of a genius Vince is, he's a certified retard after this decision. Sorry, I had to use that word. I know some of you fucking people are soft. How we let Mauro go, I don't know. Either way, this is great news for NXT. So, there was no Beth Phoenix, as we reported. It's Percy, Nigel, and Mauro here for NXT. We started off with Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. Bianca's my boo. I love Bianca. And I look at Bianca and I ask myself, how could you fuck this up? I'm just awaiting the day she gets called to the main roster, and then all of us are collectively complaining how much Bianca Belair was ruined by main roster. Mia Yim. I don't know what it is with Mia Yim. I had my reservations with Mia Yim dating back to the Mae Young Classic. It was a fact that I didn't really like what she represented. Not that I didn't like it, I didn't know. I don't understand what she is or who she is. Then we got Mia Yim, who is not really that intense in the ring. It seems like she's being very reserved. I want my women to be intense. You go watch someone like Tessa Blanchard or Jordynne Grace do what they do in the ring. That's how I want my women to perform inside the squared circle. Mia Yim has gotten a little bit better as far as the intensity goes, but I still don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is about Mia Yim that really isn't clicking with me. I'm really trying to figure this one out. I need help. I honestly need help with this. I don't know if it's still that intensity that is missing. She needs to be more intense. Or the fact that I don't know what she is or who she is. She comes out, like my friend Jesse said tonight, she is a mixture of a gangster, Chinese gangster slash ninja. I don't know what she's doing. She doesn't have an identity. I think that is the whole reason behind me being very reserved and laid back on Mia Yim so far. Not that I don't think she's talented. Not that I don't think she could be a huge asset to the women's division. I just don't think she has any identity. This was a bunch of antics early on, back and forth. They were going back at each other, you know, making fun of each other, just shitting on each other, you know, I guess that competitive nature with the women's division. You know, they're talking some trash. Want to take my spot? Fight me, says Bianca Belair. Taunting. Mia Yim kicks her away, is able to eventually lock in a guillotine choke. Belair then comes back with some punches to the back, reverses it into a snap suplex, which was nicely done. Belair went for a frog splash. Nobody home. Mia Yim doing what she does best, kicking people. Shotgun dropkick sends Belair into the corner. Rolling cannonball. She missed it the first time, and then she connected with it the second time towards the end of the match. Yim tries to roll Belair up. She was able to counter and tries to use the rope with her hands. Referee seen it. She was cursing out the referee. Referee was yelling at Bianca Belair. So we went for a few more counters here, and they did this spot again, but instead the force of the roll-up, instead of Belair hanging on the middle rope with her hands, it looked like her hair, her braid, got accidentally caught in the ropes. And when Belair seen it, she tugged on it. I don't know how the referee didn't see this. Belair held on to the hair because she knew what had happened. And this led to her getting the 1, 2, 3 and the leverage pin on Mia Yim. So that was that. Mia Yim was arguing with the referee. What happened there? You didn't see it. It was a dirty pin. Bianca Belair ran up the ramp because she knew she stole a victory. No, I didn't see nothing. Everything was all right by me. And that was pretty much it. So I'm assuming we're going to get another match to kind of even things out here between Mia Yim and Bianca Belair. Really nothing all that special, but Bianca Belair is going to be a certified winner eventually when she makes the call to the main roster. Security camera catches the War Raiders. We don't call them the Viking Raiders here, by the way, if you're new around here. It's the War Raiders. Hanson and Rowe. The War Raiders. They were attempting to leave the Performance Center. Early AM workout is what they cited. The Forgotten Sons pull up. You see in the security camera, Jackson Riker speeding down the driveway in the back of the PC. He stops, breaks the fucking shit out of the van that he's in, and he was pretty much a decoy. And then you see Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler come from behind, who I am assuming were hiding in the PC, and they attack both Hanson and Rowe, leaving them laid out, and then they all get into the van and speed away. So the War Raiders will be on the show next week, and we will find out the fate of the NXT Tag Team Champions, being that they're already dead and ruined on Monday Night Raw. We've seen a sparring session. I love these PC clips. I really do. The security camera, great stuff. The PC clips that come off very naturally, because this is exactly what they're doing. And I love that they use the PC to set up and further build storylines. In this case, it was Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke in the Performance Center. And Shayna was overlooking a sparring session between Duke and Shafir. She was there monitoring everything. Out of nowhere, Io Shirai comes from behind and she attacks Shayna Baszler. You got the two women there, Duke and Shafir, trying to break this up and get their hands on Io Shirai. Then you got other trainers and other PC, trainees there just coming on in. And they broke this entire thing up. And Io really wants a piece of Shayna Baszler. Finally, she got her hands on Shayna Baszler because all Shayna does is talk shit. And she's definitely going to have an ass-kicking coming to her eventually by Io Shirai. But I love these PC clips because it's a great way to fuel ongoing storylines because everybody's there anyway, and it's in a natural environment. I think it's great. So, Shayna got her ass kicked by Io, jumped from behind by Shirai, and we have the ongoing feud for the Women's Championship that I'm sure will take place at TakeOver 25 in Bridgeport, Connecticut on June 1st. Raul Mendoza versus Riddick Moss. This was another match here tonight. Raul Mendoza is a very talented individual. We first seen him in the Cruiserweight Classic. He's been on NXT pretty much in the top-tier jobber guy role, which is not that bad because we get to see some of what he can do. Riddick Moss is coming back from injury, and he was formerly in a tag team with my boy Tino Sabatelli. The first thing I want to ask is, where is Tino Sabatelli? Because I honestly think that Moss and Sabatelli, as far as the tag team goes, and this is probably death for them anyway, and WWE would have probably done nothing with them. But I honestly think that Sabatelli and Moss, as part of their tag team, were really, really coming into their own. They were finally hitting their stride. They looked great. Sabatelli was all money, and Riddick Moss was the muscle. And Sabatelli wasn't half bad in the ring at all either. He's got that look that is just perfect for a fucking, just downright money-grubbing, cocky prick. I loved it. I remember when I was in Winter Park, Florida for the NXT taping that I went to. And we had the little meet and greet right before the show. Tino was actually in the bar, or he was sitting at the bar having lunch. And he came in, and then he moved seats for whatever reason. I don't remember why, but he walked by my little group of people. I stopped him respectfully. I shook his hand, and I told him, I'm like, I think you're great. And I hope that you're going to come back from injury soon. And I thought that you and Riddick Moss were great together. And I hope that when you come back, we can see more of that. Because it was something that I felt had a lot of potential. And he was very respectful. And I didn't bother him after this. He's like, yeah, I thought so too. But at the time I was down there for that particular set of tapings, Riddick Moss was part of the tapings. And he told us, yeah, you guys will see Riddick tonight And I'm still waiting to come back. And that was pretty much it. I left it at that. So, Riddick Moss is on his own now. He's doing this Riddick regimen gimmick. This workout-like gimmick. He's got the workout jacket. He's got the automatic muscle relaxer that he's got, which Mauro thought was a fucking hairdryer. He's got his water bottle. He is a take on, I would say, an early iteration of Kurt Angle and a mix of Chris Masters, I'm feeling. I don't know if you guys felt the same way about the Chris Masters part of it, but he's got that Chris Masters masterpiece type physique. And he's all about the posing, and he's all about getting the counts right. He was pretty much going in on the referee. That's not how you count. You got to count like the Riddick regimen. And he looks great. He looks fantastic. It's just that I don't know how far this type of gimmick is going to go in WWE. I feel like it will be something that has a certain ceiling attached to it. In NXT as well. I don't know if WWE is going to get behind this, but this was not a bad match at all. Riddick Moss did a lot of dilly-dallying in this match. Moss was showing off. At one point, he took a few offensive maneuvers from Raul Mendoza, and he took the muscle relaxer and started doing the muscle relaxer during the match, which I loved. I thought that was a great spot. Another point was he took a water bottle, took a nice little cold beverage break for himself, and then he offered the beverage to Raul Mendoza. Mendoza was not having any of this. Simon Dean was the other one. Simon Dean. Not Kurt. I guess you can kind of lump in Kurt Angle with that. But Simon, if you guys remember, it just came to me. Simon Dean was the other one who did I think he did the jumping jacks. I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know. And you're talking to a guy who wants to see more Eric Bugenhagen on NXT. I feel like we need to see more Eric Bugenhagen. But Riddick Moss looked great. We got Moss doing Mendoza dirty with a fallaway slam. Moss then did a military press, which he started lifting Raul Mendoza. And I love the line of Nigel McGuinness. He says, well, you don't need 20/20 vision to see who is the much stronger of the two. I LOL'd. He did a military press with Riddick Moss, catches him, slams him down to the mat. Moss then, like I said, took a break and drank from his water bottle. He goes to give Mendoza some, and Mendoza slaps it out of his hand. Mendoza then comes back with a enziguri. Hurricanrana sending Moss into the corner. Another enziguri. Mendoza heads up top. Moss jumps up. He gets kicked in the head with another enziguri. Falls to the mat. Mendoza then springboards in with a twisting big splash. And he gets the upset victory. Now, if Riddick Moss was somebody that WWE was going to start pushing on NXT, I figured that they would give him a win over the upper echelon jobber in Raul Mendoza. But I don't know what's going on here. Maybe they are giving Riddick Moss a taste of tough love. I don't know. I don't see why they're going to debut this gimmick. The gimmick had more to it tonight than we seen the last time we seen him. And then they ended up giving him an L anyway. Meanwhile, I think the first time we seen him, he got a win. Tonight, we add more to the gimmick, and he gets a loss. Don't really understand that decision, but hopefully something comes out of it, and I'd like to see more of him, because what I seen tonight, I actually enjoyed. So Raul Mendoza gets the win over Riddick Moss. Riddick regimen is already off to the wrong start. Kushida will be in action next week. They did a nice little highlight of him and Cassius Ohno from his NXT debut. This was a very short episode, by the way. Only 3 matches and went about 50 minutes. Matt Riddle and Adam Cole started at the 8:30 hour. So we got this main event. Matt Riddle and Adam Cole. One thing I want to say about this match. A, it was fucking fantastic. Number 2. I love the fact, and WWE did mention it. Mauro actually did mention it on commentary, and then I'm sitting at home and I'm listening to Mauro speak, and I'm just piecing the things together. Now, WWE doesn't do a power ranking, or WWE doesn't have wins and losses that really matter on any of their television shows, but the simple fact that Mauro Ranallo mentioned early in the match on commentary that both men lost their NXT Takeover matches, respectively. Cole to Gargano and Dream beat Matt Riddle. Here we have the two biggest championships in NXT, the two challengers for those championships who lost in the ring together. That's the way you do things. The simplistic way to do things. So this is a match of two guys who lost their championship opportunities. What better way to get one of them back into the hunt for the main title than putting them in a match together to see who comes out on top. I love the fact that Mauro mentioned that on commentary, and it's our job to say, you know what, that actually does make sense. Here they are battling each other to see who can get the step above the other. I think it's great. Number 3. I'm watching this match all the way to the conclusion, all the way to the fucking trademark logo when it pops up on the screen, when Adam Cole goes into the back. I'm saying to myself, I don't understand how you have this much talent in both of these guys that will inevitably get fucked up. It is absolutely bizarre to me. I don't understand how you could possibly fuck this up. I don't get it. There was all seriousness. There's no joking around. There's no fucking corny jokes on commentary. There's no fucking oozy hot going on here. Right? I'm looking at these guys. I'm looking at these two guys and I look at legitimate athletes. Legitimate fucking professional wrestlers. Oh, that's not going to sell. Oh, nobody wants to see that. Then what the fuck do you want to see? What do you want to see? You're tuning into a wrestling program to watch professional wrestling. I don't understand this shit. How could you watch this and then have it on the main roster and do nothing with it? I feel the pain of everybody that's been in NXT that got called up to the main roster to watch this and feel that a year or two from now, it will mean nothing. It will mean nothing. I look at Adam Cole and I see a guy that could carry a fucking brand. I look at Matt Riddle, a guy that could be a breakout guy if you do what needs to be done. Needless to say, out of all those complaints and worries and fears, this was a fantastic, fantastic main event. Adam Cole does what he does best, talking shit. I am the uncrowned champion. You are pathetic. Starts yelling in Matt Riddle's face. Riddle obviously gets angry, and he lands kicks and punches, huge knife-edge chops. Cole comes back with an enziguri. Riddle goes right into a German suplex. Riddle then sends Adam Cole into the corner. Exploder suplex out of the corner. Penalty kick missed. Drops down on Cole with a senton, or a broton, is what Mauro Ranallo called it. Tries for another penalty kick. Lands it. Goes for a 2 count only. Riddle hits a German suplex with a bridge 2 count. At the end of that, I love the attention to detail by Nigel McGuinness. After the German suplex, Matt Riddle did one of these, shaking his wrist. Now, I don't know what that could possibly mean as far as the German suplex. Maybe he sprained his wrist on the German suplex coming down with the bridge. Or Nigel McGuinness actually made a nice observation. With all the kicks to the head and the enziguris and the super kicks that Adam Cole was delivering to Matt Riddle, it usually goes from the head down to the rest of your body and you start to feel spasms and nerves. So maybe that's why Matt Riddle started doing one of these things, because of all the damage that Adam Cole was doing to his head and neck. I love that, man. I love that sports-like call, sports-like feel, attention to detail by commentary, man. More should be like that. Cole and Graves should be like that. I don't expect Renee Young to be like that because she sucks, and she can't do anything right in that role. So, Riddle, with Cole on his shoulders, lifts him up, and Cole counters with a backstabber. Actually, Riddle went for a go-to-sleep. I think he called for a GTS, and what a spot that was. Adam Cole slid down his back, and in one fluid motion, got a backstabber on Matt Riddle. Only a 2 count. Cole then stomps Riddle's bare foot. Because why the fuck not? Cole is a fucking surgeon in that ring, and he sees that the guy that he's facing has no shoes on. Why the fuck not? I don't know why it hasn't been done before tonight. Great move. Looks for a super kick. Riddle turns it into an ankle lock. He goes from one ankle to the other. Riddle with a high kick. Fisherman Buster goes for a second. Tries for a third. Cole hits a brain buster only for a 2 count. Cole fakes high and low kicks. Cole looks for a Canadian Destroyer. Blocked. Riddle tries for a powerbomb. High kick misses. Cole with a super kick and hammers Riddle with a last shot. And Riddle kicks out. Great fucking sequence. I actually posted it on my IG stories if you guys want to go check it out. Follow me on Instagram, JD from NY206. Mauro went crazy. This is the second time, the second person ever to kick out of the last shot. Clearly, the only other one was Johnny Gargano. I don't want to make this a repetitive thing where people start kicking out of the last shot. I can understand why Matt Riddle kicked out. I can understand, in the grand scheme of things, why Johnny Gargano kicked out of the last shot. But I don't want it to be a recurring theme. Okay? Let's keep it at that. Cole went for another last shot. Riddle hits the go-to-sleep. Powerbomb, knee to face. Cole rolls out of the ring. And out comes Roderick Strong to help pick up Cole. I didn't really see anything wrong with this situation, but Riddle went for a penalty kick. He connects the penalty kick on Roderick Strong, takes him out. Riddle then turns his attention back to Adam Cole, flips back in the ring. Roderick Strong did right in this situation. Roderick Strong did right. He tried to help Adam Cole behind the referee's back. He interfered to a point where Matt Riddle focused his attention on Roderick Strong. And Adam Cole, outside of all this, got back into the ring, readied, and got into position. Matt Riddle flipped into the ring and landed right into a super kick. He flipped into the ring, landed right into a super kick to the face. Riddle kicks out. Kicked out. And again, attention to detail on commentary. Nigel McGuinness. I thought it was over. I legit thought it was over. Nigel McGuinness mentioned that Matt Riddle was playing possum. He didn't kick out. He didn't raise his shoulder up. He lifted the shoulder up enough to put Adam Cole in that pinning position. From that pinning position, he put him into the bro mission. And after that, Adam Cole tapped out. Matt Riddle wins via submission. Obviously, after the match, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish come down, wonder what Strong was doing. From what I seen, Roderick Strong didn't really do anything. He tried to help, but the question here is, did Adam Cole need help? So, Strong tries to help Cole up. He gets shoved away. There's obviously tension between Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. O'Reilly and Fish attempt to calm both sides down. O'Reilly with Cole, Fish with Strong. They're both yelling at each other from across the ring. Cole is annoyed, and he walks out with Kyle O'Reilly. First, it's Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish, and then O'Reilly and Cole walk out. Crowd was yelling, "Hug it out." They didn't want to hear it. They seemed to be calmed a little bit from the original interference, and Cole said to O'Reilly that he's frustrated because he keeps losing these big matches. I didn't need anybody's help to win the Fatal 5-Way to get to Gargano, and then here comes Roderick Strong, and you heard him, and the mics were fucking loud here. They were walking to the back, and he says, every time Roderick Strong puts his nose where it doesn't belong, I end up losing. And that's the way NXT went off the air. I honestly think this is going to be one of those situations that comes back around and everything's going to be all right. This seems to be rough waters right now for the Undisputed Era. This clearly is going to set up the rumored match of Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong for NXT Takeover 25. Adam Cole is going to go one-on-one with Johnny Gargano. That's pretty much a well-known fact. But I feel that Undisputed Era eventually is going to get back on the same page. We could see Undisputed Era win all their matches at TakeOver. We could see the Undisputed Era win the tag team titles because they're in the tag team title match. We could see Adam Cole win the NXT title because Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano is the main event. And Roderick Strong could end up beating Matt Riddle. And Undisputed Era, all this tension, which we will probably see all month, is going to result in them having every single fucking title in NXT outside the North American Championship. And then Roderick Strong can focus on the Velveteen Dream and the North American Championship. It could possibly be by the summertime, by the time we get to Toronto and SummerSlam, that the Undisputed Era are holding all singles and tag titles in NXT. This is just a dark cloud right now that is hovering above the Undisputed Era. I do not think that they're going to get broken up for the simple fact that NXT needs them together. I don't want to see any of them get called up individually because that will just result in death for anybody, like a Roderick Strong or a Bobby Fish or a Kyle O'Reilly. They either come up together or they don't. That's the one way for me to put it. That's the best way for me to put it. But I thought this was a very good episode of NXT. There really wasn't much there, but what we got, clearly, we got more to come next week with this situation, what Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole are going to do to build towards their match. We got the War Raiders in the tag team title situation. We got Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai and their little back and forth at the PC. We got Bianca Belair and Mia Yim in a, offset storyline here between the two of them. We got some good stuff coming up. Plus, we got the Velveteen Dream in the North American Championship. And I'm hearing that Dijakovic is out of the North American Championship title running. Apparently, he had surgery today on his meniscus. I'll have more news on that next week when we talk about NXT. But all in all, this was a very good show of NXT with a fantastic main event of Adam Cole and Matt Riddle, with Matt Riddle getting the submission victory with the Bro Mission. Thank you guys so very much for all your support, man. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206 on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys check out Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Good news. As of tonight, I am going to have yet another new sponsor on JD's team right here on Off the Script. We'll find out who that is this coming weekend. But Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript for your 30 days and free audiobook of your choice. Make sure you guys go check out all the videos that you might have missed this week. Raw, SmackDown, Off the Script Extra talking about Goldberg, Saudi Arabia, and Jon Moxley. Real reason on Off the Script why Goldberg is back with the WWE. And the Lio Rush story, why he turned down a 5-year deal from the WWE and then tells the company to release him. All that plus so much more linked in the top right corner in the annotation that you see right there. Drop it down and you will be taken to all the videos that you might have missed, man. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you right back here tomorrow with an oh my God, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Off the script extra tomorrow. Major news on Sasha Banks, and plus so much more. I'll see you guys then. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you all right back here for Off the Script Extra. Off the Script Extra, you fucking goon. Fucking asshole.